Okay, welcome back. We're off to the next part of this. So we're going to start bringing in our images and creating our design. First thing is if you want to get your design a little bit more organized, if you go to Google Classroom, there are all these pre-made kind of like layouts and designs for you. The reason why we have these is if you look at some of the other landscape designs, there are all these pre-made kind of like looks and almost like templates to organize where your pictures go. So that's kind of what this object is, or these objects are right there. Here's how you use them. I'm just going to download one of those. I'm going to go to image and I'm just going to open up that download that I have. And here it is right here. It's going to look like this, but all I'm going to do is kind of expand it and make it bigger. If it's expanding at the same size or not getting big enough for you, you could switch to where it says free, and once it's free you can actually pull it straight down and straight up and kind of change things a bit. So for mine, I'm just going to kind of do it right here, and that's going to be kind of like the underlying thing, just organizing my pictures. And I'll just lock this so it doesn't move. Next, I'm just going to start adding in my water and then like my sky and everything. So first I'm going to add this. This is kind of like the base for me. So I'm just going to take this and expand it. And this is very similar to what we did with the other image that we started with the clock. So I have this right here. There's a lot of nice elements, but I think I want to just stretch this and make it a little bit taller. So maybe I'll do something like this so that it feels like it's a little bit taller. I'm going to take my selection tool and I'm going to delete this whole middle part. You could do it by just selecting like this and then making sure you're on the layer and pressing backspace. The other thing that you could do is you can use the magic wand and you can click the magic wand and it'll choose everything that's kind of that same color, and you could delete it that way. And I'm just going to press backspace and that's going to delete it for me too. So we have like a couple different things under here that kind of are setting up our space, but this is my ground. Then I'm gonna label it to water, so we know it's like that lower half. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna import my upper half, which is going to be my sky. So I'm gonna go to my image. I decided that I wanted to use Gotham City from Batman as my design. So I'm gonna take my Gotham City and I'm gonna set it up in the background right here. So right now I have it like this, but the way that the city is down here doesn't quite go. So I'm going to take the water and I'm going to drag it above my Gotham City. And then I'm going to make sure that I label this so I know what it is. And ooh, that's already looking nice right there. We have some interesting things that are happening. So these are the first two elements of my design. And now I want to add in my subject or something else that kind of makes this stand out a little bit more. So I'm going to go to image again and I'm going to import maybe my jet ski. So I have a jet ski right here. This may be the focal point of my image, but we're just going to clean it up a little bit. I'm going to go to my magic wand. I'm going to click on the white background and it already has all the areas that we want to kind of cut out. I'm just going to press delete and there we go. Kind of cleans it out pretty easily. And I can also do down here too by just clicking. Sometimes this happens where it chooses more than what you want. If that's the case, then maybe switch to the old school method where you just go to the eraser. And I'm going to make my eraser a decent size. And then I'm just going to erase this bottom half. This may take you a little bit of time. You could also use the AI cutout to do this. I find this way works for me pretty well. So do whatever way works for you, but this feels like it could kind of get the job done. So once I have the beginning of that, it's cut out pretty decent. I'm just going to change the size of it. Maybe it might be right here. Maybe it's over here just kind of sitting in the water. Maybe it's on the grass right here. And I might want to make it like a little bit bigger. No, maybe smaller. All right. So we'll just have it kind of like in the grass right here. And we'll kind of come back to it and readjust it in a little bit to get it to look more realistic. So here's my next element. All right. So we have a couple different things. We have our city, which is our like sky. We have the water. We have a jet ski in here. Let's just add in a figure right now. So I'm going to grab my image of Batman. Luckily, my image of Batman was already cut out, so it made it a little bit easier for me. And I'm just going to kind of go like this. Now, one of the things that we talked about was size relationships. So we have to make sure that this Batman figure can't be bigger than the actual buildings, but he also needs to be big enough to fit on this jet ski. So maybe we want to go like this, and this feels like it's a good size. Remember the thing that we talked about, that when things are closer to you, they are smaller, and when they're closer to you, they're bigger, and when they're further away, they're smaller. So I'm just gonna start off with this. I think I want my Batman kind of to be in the water a little bit. So I'm just gonna make him slightly smaller, and I'm gonna put him right here. And here's my kind of trick for figuring this out, because it already looks like he's in the water now, but I'm just gonna grab an eraser, and I'm just gonna very gently erase uh, his legs right here. Make sure you have your layer selected always. It's always a tricky one for me to remember. And then we're just gonna go like this and just kind of get rid of his legs right there. Maybe we'll go a little bit higher and make the cape feel like it's in the water too. So now we got our Batman here. He feels like he's in the water. I think I might want to flip him so he's that way. So I have Batman, I have all these different elements that are happening right now, and this is looking good. Like, I can turn this in. I may need to clean up a couple little things. Like right here, I can kind of see a little bit of writing or something right there, so I might need to edit that. But let's add in one more element in here. And here's my next one. I found this great picture of Wonder Woman. So let's see if we can throw Batman and Wonder Woman. And I'm going to do AI cutout for this one because this has a lot of extra stuff on the outside. So if you do this AI cutout, hopefully it works easily. And remember to go to the scissors and go to this. Keep our fingers crossed. Oh yeah, perfect. It worked. So now I want to make sure that they're both relatively the same size. So maybe just put them next to each other. I want to also flip it so she's kind of maybe looking at him here. And maybe make this smaller. So one of the things I want to do is just like what I did with the eraser and just kind of like erase some of this so it could feel like she's in the water. We could also make some adjustments with the filter. So if I go to filter and effect library, I'm just going to move it over here. And let's see if we can kind of like adjust this a little bit. Maybe make this just like a little bit darker, or maybe get like a bluish kind of color that goes with our background. Let's see this one, and we can just start clicking these and see what it looks like in the design. These aren't exactly, let's try this urban one. I don't love every one of these. Here we go, I think this might be the one right here. Okay, I think that could work. It's kind of given what we need. So we have kind of like all these different elements. It didn't take me that long, but I kind of just like put all this together pretty quickly. And here's kind of like a decent layout of my design. There could be more elements in here too to make it stand out, but that's just kind of like the beginning. So hopefully this is an easy way for you to start. Just a couple things to remember is to label these layers. So I can put this as jet ski and then kind of label the rest. BM is Batman, and WW is Wonder Woman. So this is kind of the beginning of my design. It has some good elements. I can do more to this, but that's a good start.